All right, folks. Welcome. Enough of that. How's everyone doing? I shared the live stream, so I'm ready to get going here. Good evening, everyone. Crypto Nate in the house. Are you the real Crypto Nate, or are you just kind of like rocking the Crypto Nate title? Anyways, regardless, welcome. Alex up in the house. What up? Mohammed, I already bought. Awesome. Alex says, "Yo, what up, Alex?" Crypto Nate says, like. Alex, baby, come back. Yes, I'm trying to entice the bull market to come back. Yeah, I did a dance while playing that song, so we'll see what happens. I'm feeling pretty confident about it. Playing Hooky says, "Good evening, everyone. How positive is everyone?" Well, I'm a bull in this space. I'm buying this dip. I'm degenning out, and so I want to share with you guys some of the stuff I'm degenning out. Heja 2009, welcome. I recognize you from the live stream. Says, "Where's Messin?" Messin's in France. He was on a technical analysis mission to find some gems in France, and so oftentimes Messin will go missing for days and weeks. He often goes to France. We send out the search parties, we send out the rescue teams. Phone calls are made, meetings are had, and eventually he turns up. But he's usually in France. So my money's on France this time. Golden Eagle says, "Great intro, awesome, thank you very much. What are you drinking?" I'm drinking apple juice. Definitely apple juice. So, folks, welcome to the live stream. I wanted to give you guys a bit of a late night. Well, I don't know what time it is for you guys, but for me, it's a bit of a late night update on what's going on with Bitcoin, and I want to share. How do I phrase this? A bit of conspiracy talk. I'll put it that way because things are highly risky right now. So what I'll say is this, folks, I feel a Bitcoin pump coming. But fuck what I feel. I want to tell you guys what it would take to see a Bitcoin pump coming, because the market does what it wants. It doesn't care what I feel. Folks, we're forming a very, very, very clear trend line here on the RSI that on the price action that Bitcoin's been respecting ever since basically around $60,000. Since about $60,000, we've been kind of within this very macro descending triangle here. And if we go to the daily, if we zoom in, this thing, according to the daily, is on the verge of breaking out. Now, if you go back here to the 1 hour and try and measure this, how much more time do we have within this thing before we break out? We have 2 days maximum. Folks, weekends are usually bad for crypto. Sundays are usually bad. Give me 1 second here, y'all. So, weekends are usually bad. Sundays are usually bad. What comes after Sunday? Monday. Monday are usually good. So, we're forming this very, very macro trend line that's acting as resistance. We're forming a pretty macro descending triangle, or you could even call this a channel. We have basically 2 days left before we break out of this thing. Tomorrow is Monday. So what I'm trying to get across here is I think within the next 3 days here, we're going to see a breakout. And something to understand about markets in general is that every action is an overreaction, and nothing goes in the same direction forever. So what have we been seeing this entire year? Nothing but Bitcoin consistently going up. And now we've had a quick, dramatic sell-off where we dropped. Let's measure it from all-time highs. We dropped 53, 54%, depending what exchange you're looking at. And so we're running up against this apex here. We can't just move sideways forever. Eventually we're gonna have to break out and pick a direction. And given that Bitcoin fell so much so suddenly, and it was driven by FUD, not any major fundamentals or any major market exhaustion or any major cycle indicator reaching the top. No. It was just we were a bit overextended. Then we had a lot of FUD all at once that just really drove the price down. So, given that this was, in my opinion, a coordinated effort to drive Bitcoin down, and we're on the verge of this apex, I think a relief rally is overdue for Bitcoin. Even if we go on to assume the worst case scenario and the bull runs over, boys, pack her up, come back 2024, 2025, that's the worst case scenario. Even if we just assume that, we're still not going to go in just a straight line down and nothingness forever. No, no, no. There will be relief rallies and lower highs even if we do enter a bear market right now, which I do not believe is the case. Even like here, look back at 2017. All right, like once we had our first major sell-off, we didn't just immediately just go down to nothingness. No, no, no. We had relief rallies. We had relief rallies. We had relief rallies, relief rallies, relief rallies. Even in the beginning of a bear market, constant relief rallies. So, what has Bitcoin had recently? Massive, massive sell-off. Dramatic, quick, substantial sell-off. What has Bitcoin not had? A relief rally. What are we in right now in Apex? What do we not have a lot of time left for? More room in this Apex. Folks, I think we have 2 or 3 days max. I think tomorrow we probably see, like anytime soon, any day, any hour here, I could go to sleep and Bitcoin could break out. We're probably going to break out, and my gut feeling tells me I lean more bullish than not. Because, again, even if we just assume the worst case scenario, we are entering a 3-4 year bear market, it's not just going to be a straight line down. There will be relief rallies and lower highs the whole way down. So, I do believe Bitcoin is pretty overdue for a relief rally, and I do think we're going to see it very likely this week, very likely within the next few days, very likely within the next day or two. So those are some of the things I'm looking out for with Bitcoin. Now, if we take a look at our indicators as well here, let's see what our indicators are saying. So, looking at the 1 hour, bullish cross from the MACD. RSI is making higher lows. Good to see. Let's take a look at the 3 hour. 3 hours. 3 hour histogram moving up. Weighted MACD bullish crossover. Stochastic RSI bullish crossover. RSI making higher lows. We're starting to see some strength on the lower hourly time frames. Looking at the 2 hour bullish crossover in the MACD. Again, RSI same scenario. Looking at the lower time frames, we are seeing strength building up with Bitcoin. Also, what have we seen here in the short term? We've seen a higher low. This is good, folks. This is very good. This right now is telling us a story. All right, even if we assume the worst case scenario, it's not going to just go down in a straight line forever. Nothing goes up in a straight line forever or down in a straight line forever. Something goes up, it must come down. Something goes down, it must come back up. What have we been doing? Going nothing but down. What could we possibly anticipate? Going up. We made a higher low. We're in our apex here. We're seeing strength build up in the lower early time frames. Folks, I think Bitcoin is likelier than not to have a bit of a relief rally. Now, let's talk about what that might look like with Bitcoin here. So, let's go maybe to the 12 hour here. Now, what are you guys saying? Crypto Nate's saying another way you can know I'm the real Crypto Nate is I'm talking about meme coins. There you go, man. Crypto Nate says bought more GRT. Yeah, I like GRT. GRT is good. Oh, by the way, so I've been buying the shit out of this dip with all I can. Again, I could be wrong. Things could crash more. But here's the thing. Especially with some altcoins, like Chainlink, for example. Chainlink fell 71%. All right, let's assume the worst case we're entering a bear market. Well, I mean, we already fell 71% from all-time highs. So the worst of what's possible already happened. And that's the case with a lot of cryptocurrencies. Audio down 85, 86% from all-time highs. What's the worst case scenario? It falls, what, 90%? Another 10% down? Folks, the worst of what's possible already happened. So I'm buying this shit out of Audius. I'm buying the shit out of PancakeSwap. And I'm buying the shit about half a dozen other things that hopefully I'll tell you guys about in this live stream. But let's talk about Bitcoin. Let's get this out of the way because it's important to understand what Bitcoin is doing because Bitcoin leads the market. And if Bitcoin starts to look healthy, the altcoin market will look healthy. Give me a moment here, folks. This apple juice is very strong. It's great apple juice. All right, folks, listen here. What could Bitcoin's relief rally look like? Well, I think we can draw a trend line from all-time highs to this peak, and this is something that's very likely to act as resistance here. We also have volume right, building up near one of our fib levels and near a trend line. So I think kind of the bullish scenario for a relief rally for Bitcoin could probably bring us up into maybe the mid 40,000 to high 40,000 range. So if we do indeed see a bullish breakout from this downward moving channel, I think a relief rally to, mid to $40,000 range. At the very least, I think 40,000 again is very, very realistic. Again, maybe even this peak here. So again, I could draw just like the widest range ever, but I think it's more helpful to be more specific. So perhaps I think these are the two most likely scenarios for a potential Bitcoin relief rally. Something like this. So this resistance zone based off this trend line, this fib level, 236, and this cluster of volume. And then this red resistance zone based off our fib level, this peak in price action, and this wick in price action. So these are the two levels in which I think Bitcoin is likely to go to if we do indeed experience a relief rally. So basically what I'm saying here is I think Bitcoin maybe within the week, within the month, in the near future could probably go to 41,000 to about 43,000, and if we can break above that, probably 46,000 to maybe about $50,000. And so a few things I'm looking at here with Bitcoin. So I think kind of there's two major scenarios. We have a relief rally and we get rejected and go back down. That's bad news bears. That's very no bueno. Or we have a relief rally, break through major resistance, come back down and retest the breakout point, hold it as support, and then continue to go on to make higher highs. So in terms of the dubiousness we're seeing in the market, my plan is to, I don't own any Bitcoin because Bitcoin's a silly investment when you have things like Ethereum out there. But regardless of that, my plan is to take some profits. I don't know the exact percentage, maybe 10, maybe 20% of my portfolio to move into stable coins, definitely a minority of my portfolio. Whenever Bitcoin does have this relief rally and enter these two resistance zones that I've just previously described to you guys. So again, the reason why I'm doing this is because let's say I sell maybe a minority of my portfolio around these places. If we do indeed get rejected and make new lower lows, then I'll just buy the dip. Or if we if I sell here and we just rip up and blow past resistance, it's very likely, again, nothing goes in one direction straight forever. We go up, go back down. We go down, maybe we can go back up. I think so, but we'll see. So let's assume the bullish scenario. We break out for major resistance. We're likely going to retest what was once previously resistance and solidify it as support. And then I would just buy back into the market on the retest with Bitcoin here. Regardless, I do think that a relief rally is probably overdue. And if you are looking to maybe hedge and practice a bit of risk management, I would wait for the potential relief rally. And if you were thinking of taking profits, were thinking of maybe getting rid of some percentage of your portfolio, I would do it while we're rising. Don't panic sell dips, panic sell pumps. You want to be buying pumps and green candles, not panic selling dumps and red candles. So I do believe, again, a relief rally in the near future is probably likely, and this is probably where we're going to. And so I will take some profits on a minority of my portfolio in these two regions which I've described here. So what are you guys saying here? Am I rambling on too much? Am I making sense? What's going on? Azium says, whale that sold BTC at 60K can pump harder. What else are you guys saying? Bought more Chainlink. Crypto Nate says bought more Chainlink. That's awesome, bro. Chainlink fell quite a lot. Chainlink is super solid. Chainlink is one of the most solid picks you can make in crypto land. Do I not have the chart of Chainlink pulled up? Let's see here. That's okay, folks. So I'm gonna pull up the chart of Chainlink. But another reason why I'm very bullish on crypto long term is we've historically moved in 4-year cycles because of Bitcoin and the halvings. And based off the previous cycles and the previous halvings, from the bottom to the top, from the bottom of the halvings, 51% of the entire bull market. From the halving to the top was 49%. So it's happened twice. If we continue to act in a similar way, Bitcoin isn't likely to top off until September, October, which was when I was planning to sell anyways. So again, I'm just huddling, but I could be wrong. Not financial advice. So let's take a look here at Chainlink. What is Chainlink saying? Look at this, folks. Look at this. Chainlink, let's measure how much it's down from all-time highs. So Chainlink fell 71% and is currently down 59% from all-time highs. So look, folks, Chainlink, super, super solid project, as solid as they go. Kind of in DeFi, later in the Oracle niche. leader in oracles when it comes to Ethereum. I think Ethereum's here to stay. Look, I personally, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, I'm just a random dude. I would feel perfectly comfortable holding Chainlink for the next 5 years if I had to. So, we're within the golden pocket, we're within the 618. So, whenever I'm trying to determine where to buy something, first thing I do is draw a Fibonacci retracement from the bottom to the all-time high. And whenever we enter this 618 zone, this is what's known as the golden pocket. It's typically where things like to retrace to and find their support. So Chainlink is there. If you look at the dollar cost average, I would be buying right now. Not financial advice. Also, we're seeing here a long wick to the downside after a massive correction. Super bullish. And if we can continue to basically hold where we're at and not drop below $20 where that previous peak was, that could be insanely bullish. I think the inflection point for Chainlink is $20. As long as we hold $20, the worst is behind us. If we start to break below $20 again, that's not good. We can dump further. But $20 is that inflection point. And if you're looking dollar cost average weighing to Chainlink, I would be buying right now, not financial advice, with the understanding that it's of course possible it could fall further. So folks, listen, there's 208 people watching. Only 33 likes. Do you guys not want me to share with you guys what I'm buying the dip on? Because I bought the dip on maybe like half a dozen projects that I was looking forward to share with you guys. You know, talking about price targets, major support and resistance levels, what I'm looking out for. But maybe I should wrap up the live stream early. You guys let me know. Smash that like button. If we get to 100 likes, then maybe I'll start sharing some of these, projects on a massive discount that I'm very, very excited about. To buy the dip on. But I don't know. Maybe you guys don't want me to keep going. Was that all you guys wanted to hear about with Bitcoin? I don't know. You guys let me know. In the meanwhile, let's see if we have any questions here in the chat. So, Rabble Rouser says, "Good evening, crypto fam. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. Theta is a good buy. Yeah, Theta I like a lot." So also, one thing you could do right now is, okay, there's a tons of good projects out there. What do you know what to buy? Go to CoinGecko, go to CoinMarketCap, and see what's down most in the week. Terra Luna, great project. Down 72% on the week. Let's take a look at Terra Luna. Oof, this chart looks bad. This looks bearish. Very, very bad. Terra Luna is just capitulating into nothingness, dumping below sideways price action, dumping below volume, dumping below our fib levels. This looks very, very bad. And this is also a super solid project with great fundamentals that I think has a fantastic chance of staying here and doing very well over the long term. So while this price action is screaming bearish and screaming capitulation, if you're kind of like a long-term value fundamental investor, and you don't really care about what happens next week, next month, next quarter, and you're just kind of want to buy solid stuff that's going to be 100x 5 years from now, Terra Luna is definitely a competitor for kind of that title. So if we measure how much we're down from all-time highs here, Terra Luna's down 80% from all-time highs, folks. Terra Luna at some point was like top 20 in terms of market cap. This is a very, very solid project. Let's take a look where it's at right now. 57? Oof. Is this not a screaming buy? Folks, unfortunately, there's so much good stuff out there that I unfortunately don't think I'll be able to buy Terra, just because, again, while I do love Terra and I'd love to buy it, I'm not made of money, and I've already bought a lot of stuff on this dip. And I'm actually also going to share with you guys something I was looking forward to buying on the dip live on this live stream. I wanted to wait. I was buy the dip. I was like, no, I should wait. I'm going to show you guys what I'm very excited about. Something that's a newer project that's corrected a lot, that I'm looking forward to buying on this very live stream. If we get to 100 likes, I'll share with you guys what I want to buy on this live stream. I'll buy it live just to show you guys that I am indeed buying the dip. So Terra Luna, fantastic project, great fundamentals in my opinion. They do crypto payment solutions. They create a bunch of different versions of stablecoins. I like their their project a lot, and again, they're down 80%. If we just assume the worst case scenario, assume we're entering a 3-year bear market, I mean, we're down 80% from all-time highs. The worst of what could happen already happened. What's the worst case scenario? Oh, it falls another 10, 20%. What's another 10, 20% when it's fallen 80% from all-time highs? Folks, if you're looking to kind of diversifying to different blockchains, something that does payment solutions. Terra Luna is an absolute must watch. In fact, I'm going to add it to my watch list right now, because if I can't buy it, I'm definitely going to trade it at the first sign of bullish divergence. So I'm adding Terra Luna here to my watch list to hopefully maybe buy the dip on and definitely trade if I get the opportunity. So yeah, guys, like again, there's so many good projects out there. Just go to CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap, see what's mostly down on the week, it's down on the day, and that's, if you can't kind of make up your mind on what you want to buy, let the market decide for you. Let the market tell you what's down the most, and if you like it, that's how you do dollar cost average. See what else is that's good that's down. Polkadot down 57% on the day, or on the week. Sorry, oof. Love Polkadot, especially with parachain auctions quickly approaching. On the day, what's down a lot? Synthetics, another monster in the space. Oh my God, it's down. Let's take a look at the chart. Synthetics is not one that I bought the dip on, just because I already own a decent amount of synthetics. But let's take a look at the chart, because synthetics is another monster that's corrected a shit ton. Look at this. I love this. So from all-time highs, synthetics is down 50, nearly 60%. We dropped 68%, and we're currently down 59% from all-time highs, even still respecting our descending channel. And folks, as long as we don't make new lower lows, and as long as we continue to respect this descending channel, this could be the mother of all bull flags. Because what is a bull flag? We have a massive impulse followed by a downward moving channel correction phase, and if we break out bullishly above our upper trend line, then we could move upwards the height of our channel, or more optimistically, the length of the initial impulse. So a bullish breakout for synthetics could take us to all-time highs and perhaps $40 to $45. So I'm very, very bullish on SNX long term, and the only reason why I'm not buying it is because I already have a very decent bag from back when it was around $5 when we first started this channel. So that's that. Dennis S here with the $5 super chat says, dude, Binance BCH was at 1600 a week ago and now at 550. It took 3 years to get back to 1600, all-time high 4K, and only 1 week to get back down to 500 range. WTF. Let's take a look. A lot of stuff is making us feel like that right now. A lot of stuff is saying WTF right now. This is bad. Yeah, so I'll show you why this is bad. So let's see here. Let's see. I knew I drew this before. So a few things. Again, while it is bad, as long as we don't make new macro lows, the macro trend is still bullish. The macro trend is higher lows and higher highs. And so while we did kind of make a lower low here, as long as we don't make a new lower low, then we're still making macro higher lows. So a few things with this. Right off the bat, we lost support right here. I'll show you. Right here. So that's bad. That's not what we want to see. And also this right here. So draw that support. Yeah, so we can see that. I mean, you can draw a bunch of different trend lines. Ultimately, look, the market was we're seeing this kind of correction with the market, not because these coins all of a sudden had bad news. It's because of Bitcoin, and kind of the variation in the dumpage we're seeing between all these coins is kind of the variation of how strong their holders are. If one project dumped more, it had weaker hands. If one project dumped less, it had stronger hands holding the project. So again, I can tell you 50 different ways of how we drop below support, but you already know that. We already know that. What's relevant here is not making new macro lower lows moving forward, because if we make new macro lower lows moving forward, that's just confirmation of the bearish trend. We also are sitting right above support at kind of 530 here. So 520, 530 needs to hold that support. So if it does, we could be good. Also, let's draw a Fibonacci retracement to see where we are in our kind of correction phase. Let's see here. Also, Bitcoin Cash. I mean, I don't want to be too much of a hater, but it's not super appealing to me. But if you're looking to like trade it, swing trade it, You know, you trade it, you don't marry it, right? So who cares about the fundamentals of just looking to make some money? So what I would say here is we're below the 618. That's bad. We're above the 786. That's good. We're above volume here. So if we start to fall below 520, 530, very bad. We'll correct further. As long as we hold there, it's a good sign. Also, in terms of bullish divergence, just super simple. We can draw a trend line here. If we start to get above this trend line and hold above this trend line, then we can recover. That's what's going on with Bitcoin Cash. And look, in case it wasn't clear, I still believe in this space over the long term. Kurt Sabertzer says, aMillionortheMoon, we got to 100 likes. We did indeed get to 100 likes. So, folks, I promise y'all, if we got to 100 likes, I would share with you something I'm looking to buy the dip on live on this live stream, and so I now will indeed do so. I've been buying the dip on a lot of stuff, and we're going to get to it, but now, without further ado, I'm buying the dip on Casper here. So, Casper is a blockchain specifically for enterprise. All right, so you know, if crypto's due to mature as an ecosystem into legacy markets. Sorry about that. And so if crypto's too mature, you know, the institutions, the legacy markets, corporations are going to get into crypto. And so Casper is a very interesting blockchain because they're trying to be, you know, a smart contract protocol that's specifically tailored for enterprise and business solutions. So again, I do think mainstream adoption is only in its very beginning stages. And so I'm very bullish on this thing long term. I like this idea. Token Metrics did a code review on these guys, and Casper had one of the highest code reviews Token Metrics has ever put out. I really respect what the Token Metrics guys have to say because it was because of Token Metrics and Ian Bellina that I got into Matic back when it was like 2 cents, and I sold it at around $2. So I did 100x because of those guys. So whenever they're very bullish on a project, whenever there's something that kind of like there's an outlier that's kind of above the fray, I pay attention. And so Casper is one of those that's had one of the best code reviews they've ever looked at. So very bullish on this thing. It's done nothing but correct over the long term. Unfortunately, I couldn't really chart it. I tried to find a chart for it where I could do some TA. I couldn't. So that's okay, because honestly with this thing, I'm not looking to make money next week, next month. I'll hold this thing another 6 months, another 5 years if I have to. So it's down. It's been doing nothing but down for a while. And so I just like the fundamentals. I want to get some exposure. So I'm buying the dip. So I will right now. I'm not going to show you guys my exchange because I don't want to potentially give away some sensitive info. But I have another screen pulled up, and I'm currently setting my buy orders as we speak at 31.88 cents. So actually, hold on here. Let's see what I actually get filled at. 31.91. I just bought some Casper at 31.91. I've been buying the dip on a lot of stuff. That was just one of them. So just kind of quickly run through some of the stuff I'm buying the dip on. Matic, no, I didn't buy the dip on Matic. Again, I've been holding Matic ever since under 2 cents, and I sold above about $2. So Matic did 100x for me, and I'm using my Matic profits to buy the shit on to buy the dip on everything else. Chainlink, again, I already have a decent bag of Chainlink, at least for myself, so I'm not really interested in that. What I am interested right now is PancakeSwap. PancakeSwap looks very intriguing, folks. Let's measure. How far are we down from all-time highs? So from all-time highs, we corrected 79%, and we're currently down 70% from all-time highs. Again, folks, even if we assume the worst-case scenario, the worst of what's possible already happened. What's the worst-case scenario? We fall 80-90% from all-time highs. We already fell 70% from all-time highs. The worst of what could have happened already happened. And so, again, like I very much like this thing for a few reasons here. So let me see if I actually have this pulled up. DeFi Llama. Here, I do have DeFi Llama. So, folks, if we go here to, let's see. Where was Pancakes? Did they remove PancakeSwap? Oh, no, it fell. Ooh, look at this, folks. This is now actually very interesting. So, PancakeSwap was actually number 2 a few days ago in terms of total value locked in its ecosystem. Because Ethereum has been having tons of issues with gas fees, people are flocking away from Uniswap and the Ethereum ecosystem because who wants to pay $50 gas fees, $100 gas fees, $200 gas fees? So PancakeSwap has been steadily gaining users, volume, and trade and total value locked in its ecosystem. So the market has been telling us people are flocking over to PancakeSwap. And again, we're down. Let's see how much from all-time highs here. Where's the chart? Again, 70% from all-time highs. Folks, this is a steal in my opinion. And on PancakeSwap, you can stake PancakeSwap and earn 130% APY. That's also compounding. So not only do I think that over the long term this could reach its all-time highs and vastly surpass it again, but I'm earning 130% APY on PancakeSwap, compounding, staking it. So again, that's why I bought PancakeSwap. So Dennis S with the $5 super chat, thank you for your support, says, dude, so is this the beginning of a bear market, or are we just getting dumped by the market makers who just want us to believe it is? This cycle is toxic. Yes, it is. And look, again, so a few things. We've had a 53% correction from all-time highs. 53% corrections are not commonplace. We're also falling below constant major support level after a constant major support level. And so let me just begin to describe and paint you the situation on why things are so very bearish right now. So the 50 simple daily moving average, all right, twice this year's bull cycle, pump, dump. Where did we stop dumping and find our support? 50 simple daily moving average. Pump, dump, find our support, 50 daily simple moving average on the daily. And I've been saying it, folks, that was the most relevant level for Bitcoin. Even back in the previous cycle, we constantly held it at support. And as soon as we broke below it, that was the end of the previous cycle. And so, like, again, if you've been watching our channel for a while, you already know what I'm going to say, because I've been saying it for months at this point, that the 50 simple daily moving average for Bitcoin was an extremely relevant level. And as soon as we broke below it and got rejected, I was expressing my concern. So even before Elon started tweeting, there were signs of a lot of weakness with Bitcoin here. And I will get to your question as to whether I think this is the bull run or not. And I'm not just going to share my opinions and feelings and intuitions, but I'm going to tell you some tangible things that we can look at to understand the probabilities of whether we're likely or not to be in a bear market. But let me just begin to paint the picture here. So even looking here at the daily RSI, every peak we had in price action here, see, every higher high in price action coincided with a macro lower high in the RSI. Classic bearish divergence. This is textbook market weakness. Again, folks, look at this. Higher high. See how, like, when I go to the higher highs, you can see the dashes on the RSI here. Again, when we're making higher highs in price action and lower highs in RSI, it's telling us the upward momentum is running out of strength. And so eventually the RSI just kept falling. We fell below major support. We went back up to retest it, got rejected. And so after that rejection, we had a bunch of FUD all at once, a coordinated effort, which just really drove up panic and fear of the market. And again, lots of longs, leveraged longs were liquidated. And as soon as you start to see leveraged longs liquidated, it's a domino effect. Because, if someone has your liquidation here at 49,000, you get liquidated, that's going to automatically open a sell order to the market, which is going to further drive the price down. And if it goes to 45, more people get liquidated, which is going to further drive the price down. And if it goes to 40, gets liquidated, it's going to further drive. And it's just a compounding domino effect. As soon as we start to see leveraged longs start to get liquidated, it's a domino effect. So there was just a bunch of coordinated FUD and a bunch of liquidations all at once that again made led to this massive sell-off. And so whether in terms of I think we're in a bull market or not, well, we can talk about our feelings and intuitions and my gut. Let's talk about tangible things that we need to look out for to try and understand whether it's likely or not that we're in a bull market or bear market. A few things here. The 200 daily exponential moving average, this blue line here, we need to flip this from resistance into support if Bitcoin wants to be bullish again. We can see here that during our dump page, we actually had 3 daily wicks finding support off this region, and once we broke below it, we went back up to retest it and we got rejected off it. So the market's telling us this is an extremely relevant level here at $42,100. As well, we have the 200 simple moving average. So we have the 200 exponential and the 200 simple moving average on the daily right above us as well, acting as resistance. We also have a macro fib level right here acting as resistance. So right here from between 40,300 to about $42,000 are clusters of giant resistance. So whether we're in a bull market or not, we don't need to talk about feelings and intuitions. We need to get above these levels for us to remain bullish. If we never get above these levels again, if we constantly find rejection off these levels, if we get rejected off here and then make a new lower low, that would serve as confirmation of the bear trend. And I would, in fact, in that case, say it's likelier than not that we're entering a bear market. If we find rejection here and make a new macro lower low, another thing here, we do not want to see macro lower lows. If we see macro lower lows below $30,000, that would again serve as confirmation of the bear trend. If we look back at 2017 here, how did we know we were in a bear market? Well, we made macro lower highs and macro lower lows. So we do have a bunch of resistance above us, and we could get rejected all the live long day. But as long as we don't drop below 30,000 again, then that's a good sign. If we do indeed drop below 30,000 again and make a new macro lower low, that would serve as confirmation. So not dropping below 30,000 is key. If we do drop below 30,000 again, that would serve as confirmation of the bear trend. We need to get above these two levels. We need to get above and hold above $42,000. If we can hold above 42,000, it makes it more likely that this is a major sell-off and that the bull run will continue. Again, in the beginning of the live stream, for those who didn't hear the beginning of the live stream, I think that Bitcoin is probably overdue for a relief rally and is very likely to pump in the near future here because we're forming this macro descending channel and we have very few time left before we're right up against this apex and we have to break either up or down, and whatever way we break out, it's going to be quite substantial. And so I think we're probably likelier than not to break to the upside because we cannot just go in the same direction forever. So we've been going nothing but down since mid-April, all right? I think Bitcoin is very much long overdue for a relief rally. So what I think is going to be happening with Bitcoin here is something like this, where we go up to either around the $41,000, $42,000 range and get rejected. That's very bearish. Go up, break past 42, and our next major resistance is around 48,000. If we get rejected off that, very bearish. As well, if we zoom in into price action here, we can also see how this trend line is just based off all-time highs in this wick. If we just extend that, it's likely to be relevant. So any rejection off these major resistance levels are very bad and will serve as confirmation of the bearish trend. Now, if Bitcoin does indeed break out and start to rip through these resistance levels, what could we look out for to try to understand if Bitcoin is bullish or not? If we break out bullishly and fall back down to retest it and hold it as support, that's bullish. Break past resistance, fall back down to retest as support, that's bullish. So if we do indeed break back up and we don't fall back down, but instead we retest the what was previously resistance and hold that as support, those are some signs that Bitcoin might have bottomed out and is starting to look bullish. So I know I'm rambling along a lot here, but my point is, instead of a lot of people talking about feelings and intuitions and bull market, no. There's tangible things we can look out for to try to understand whether Bitcoin is bullish or not. If we start to break past major resistance, fall back down to retest it and hold it as support, that's what we want. If we make macro lower lows, that would serve as confirmation of the bear trend. That's what we don't want to see. If we cannot eventually get above the 200 exponential moving average on the daily and the 200 simple moving average on the daily, that's very bad. If we can get above these levels, fall back down and retest it and hold it as support, that's very, very good. So right now, basically, to kind of really summarize your question here, are we in a bull market? Are we in a bear market? Things are very much up in the air. And so what we need right now is confirmation. We need to see confirmation of the trend. If we make new macro lower lows, that's confirmation of the bearish trend. If we break up bullishly, break past major resistance, fall down and retest it and hold it as support, that's confirmation of the bullish trend. So we need to see what way Bitcoin breaks out and moves over the next couple days and weeks, and we need to see what levels we hold and break through. And depending on what levels we fall below or break above, that will serve as confirmation of the trend. So again, we need to see what way we break out. Any major levels that we break above or below, any confirmation we get of the bullish or bearish trend, I will be the first one to let you guys know. So folks, smash that like button, like, subscribe, comment, share, and hit that bell icon to be notified of new uploads, because there's 430 people watching. It's midnight where I'm at right now, and there's only 131 likes. That must mean you don't want me to keep going. And that must mean you guys don't want me to tell you when Bitcoin's ready to recover and what I think is happening with the state of the bull market or bear market. Folks, smashing that like button is the easiest way to show your support, because the more likes we get, the more likely YouTube is to recommend the channel in our live stream. So that was quite a rant. I hope I answered your question. Let me know if I didn't. Those are my thoughts. For profit with a $2 donation. Thank you for your support. Says, do you have a bottom prediction for Maker and BTT? Well, I can take a look here. Ultimately, again, when we're talking about bottoms, like Bitcoin's leading the market, right? Like all these other coins aren't crashing because they had some bad news stories or FUD. They're crashing because of Bitcoin. So if you want to know bottom, if you want to know if there's a bottom with alts, we need a bottom with Bitcoin. So I'll take a look at your coins here. But again, main takeaway is just seeing a bottom with Bitcoin. If we see a bottom with Bitcoin, alts will bottom. If Bitcoin continues to fall, alts will continue to fall. So, but we can identify some of the perhaps relevant ranges with these altcoins. So, okay, a few things here. This thing, Maker, right off the bat, found support on the sideways price action. So this is very, very simple, folks. We can see here a clear base of support in kind of this zone here, right here. You see how a price reacted incredibly well off the zone. Here was resistance, here was support. So again, folks, this is what I'm saying. Like here, this was all acting as resistance. We fell, we broke up. We fell back down, retest the breakout point, held it as support, and look what led afterwards. This is what I'm saying with confirmation here. So again, Bitcoin might break out, and if it falls back down to retest what was once previously resistance and also as support, it has a lot more room to the upside. Again, see, we see this all the time play out. We have an impulse up, we have that resistance, we break out, fall back down to retest the breakout point, that held as support, and look what led afterwards. So that's what I'm looking out for with Bitcoin. A breakout of resistance, a fall back down to retest support. So if Bitcoin does something like this, it gives us plenty more room to the upside. If Bitcoin does something like this, plenty more room to the upside. So that's what we want to see with Bitcoin. If we start to see those signs, then we probably bottomed out. So again here, not making new low is the key thing. If we start to fall below 2,000, fall below 1,600, very, very bad news bears with Maker. Let's take a look here at BTT. BTT, oof, looking a little bit more dire here. So, oof, yeah, okay, so with this thing, yes, there's no bueno. See how we're below volume here? Yeah, look at the VPR right above us, resistance, and not good. So what I'm saying here with this thing is if we make a new kind of lower low below here, we're probably going to fall back down to here. Or right around here is where I would expect us to fall. So basically what I'm saying here, if we don't hold kind of like 2.9 here, this could probably fall 30% more, 40% more down, because look, there's nothing here, no volume, no support, no nothing. So again, we do not want to see new lower lows, and if we drop below here, there's no support below us. So that's what's going on with that. When BTC gets a relief rally, do the alts rally? That's a good question. I do think I do think so. Again, that's not a guarantee, but as kind of like a general rule of thumb, I do think so. Because the reason why I think Bitcoin will get a relief rally is because we're quite overextended to the downside. And we're seeing that with everything. Everything, excuse me, is very overextended to the downside. Very, very overextended to the downside. And so if we get some confidence back in the market, some signs of some bullish trend reversal, then yeah, we're probably going to see relief rallies with pretty much everything. And the harder they dump, the harder they pump afterwards. So again, if you're looking to dollar cost average, there's a bunch of good projects. You don't know what to buy, go to CoinGecko, go to CoinMarketCap, select what's down the most on the daily, on the weekly. Terra Luna's down the most. Terra Luna might be worth looking at. So I love Terra Luna, and again, if we do get that relief rally, the harder they dump, the harder they pump. So that's what I'm looking at with that. Asplum says with the $5 super chat, thank you for the support. Can you take a quick peek at XLRM. I sure can. Heart sign you back. So, also, how are you guys feeling? You know, like, I think I have a pretty high risk tolerance. I mean, I'm buying the dip, so I think it's pretty obvious. But what are you guys feeling? Are you guys getting shaken out? Are you guys taking risk management? Are you guys taking profits, moving stable coins? Are you degening out like me, buying the dip? What are y'all up to? So, XLM. I like that chart. Let's see here. This chart's much better. Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, I know. So this was one chart. I think this was actually, this might have been the first chart I posted in our VIP disc group. I'm actually gonna look it up right now on my other screen. Yeah, no, this thing was forming a cup and handle, and I was letting our people know if as long as you broke out here, we could probably pump to 65 cents, and that's exactly what happened. So folks, again, if you want to support us, become a VIP Discord member, because I called this thing I think back in December. Said it was going to go to 65 cents, and that's exactly what it did. Now we did crash quite a lot, but what are we seeing now? We're holding above our cup. So again, folks, whenever there's a major resistance level, again, this previous peak from back in 2018, the previous cycle was acting as resistance here at 35 cents. And so what have we seen here? What we've seen is we broke out bullishly from the previous cycle's all-time highs at 35 cents. We broke out bullishly, market had a flash crash, and so what are we doing right now? We're falling back down to retest the breakout point and retest the previous cycle's all-time highs. So as long as we hold here and don't make macro lower lows, then this has plenty of upside potential in its future. As long as we hold here, as long as we hold above the previous cycle's all-time highs. If we start to fall again below the previous cycle's all-time highs, below 35 cents here, that's very bad news bears. Very no bueno. We could probably see a lot more correction, consolidation in that case. But again, this is, as long as we hold where we're at right now, classic retest. Again, folks, we see this on smaller time frames. We see this on higher time frames. We have a resistance level. We break through it. We shoot up. We fall back down and retest it. As long as we solidify that as support, then we have more room to the upside on the other side, as long as we hold here. So Dennis S with the $2 super chat says, I feel like 2,000 pounds of horseshit. Well, that's unfortunate. And well, at least, I don't know if this gives you any solace. You're definitely not alone. Maybe most of your people here, most of the people here are feeling that way. Now, why are you feeling that way? Look, if you're really feeling like shit, what I would say is, look, I do think Bitcoin is probably going to have a bit of a relief rally. If we do get that relief rally, I'm probably going to be taking profits on a minority of my portfolio to move into stable coins, to buy the dip if we potentially break down further. So, you know, if you are feeling shitty, if you're looking to practice some risk management, what I would say is, and if you are looking to sell and take profits on anything, do not sell dumps, sell pumps. Wait for that relief rally. If we do have that relief rally, like what I'm personally doing is I'm taking profits in maybe 10% of my portfolio. A super small position. That way, in the off chance that we do get rejected and we do enter a bear market, I'll have someone buy the dip. So that's one approach you could take. Ultimately, again, if you're feeling real shitty, just practice risk management. Whether that means if you're looking to buy the dip, don't buy the dip all at once. If you have $1,000 to invest, you know, buy $100 now, $100 next week, $100 next week, and so on and so forth. And if you're looking for maybe less risk, maybe getting out of the market a bit, moving to stable coins, wait for that relief rally. If we do have a bit of a relief rally, move into stable coins. Do you, again, not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I personally think this is the bottom. I could be wrong. The market doesn't care what I personally think. The market doesn't care what I feel. The market will just do what it wants. And so while I do think this is the bottom, it may not have been. And so again, ultimately what I'm looking out for is confirmation of whatever trend we're forming. If we break below major resistance, fall back down, retest it, and solidify the support, good sign, I'll feel more confident. If we break up and we get rejected and start to fall back down, rejected off resistance, and we make a new macro lower low, then that would serve as confirmation of the bear trend, and I'd be looking in that case to maybe, again, move to stable coins and sell some of my positions in that case. So those are some of the major things I'm looking out for. So William User with the $5 super chat, thank you for the support, says, do you see the trend reversal falling wedge on the hourly for BTC? Let's take a look. Yeah, so again, there's probably a few things you can call this. You said falling wedge. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but is this what you mean with a falling wedge? Now, look again, people again hourly here. Let's see what you mean on the hourly. So again, I might be looking at something slightly different than you are. Ultimately, we can call these different patterns we're forming different things. I honestly think it means the same thing. I think I've honestly identified some clear levels, and again, people can draw this slightly different, but and no matter what you call this, and if you draw it slightly different, it just means the same thing here. We're in this descending channel. We're nearing an apex, likely to have a breakout here in the near future. And again, since we've had such a substantial move to the downside, I do believe a relief rally is probably overdue. And again, we need to get above those two macro moving averages: the daily 100 exponential and 200 exponential. Have I been saying 100 exponential? This is the 200 EMA. Forgive me if I have. And this is the 200 simple moving average. So what I'm looking out for is probably a bullish breakout, just because we've been downtrending. A relief rally is probably overdue, and then not getting rejected off here. Because when we get rejected off here, oof, that's not good. It's not good. But we can get, ultimately though, that may very well happen. We can get rejected all the live long day. What I'm mostly looking out for is not a new macro lower low below 30, because a new macro lower low below 30 would be very bad in confirmation of the bearish trend. Again, Dennis says with the super chat, thank you for the support. Says, what's the Wyckoff crap I keep hearing about? I have been hearing about that as well. And again, people like to come up with fancy models and fancy names for different stuff. I'm honestly not very familiar off the bat, so unfortunately I can't comment too much, because I'm honestly not sure either. Although I have been hearing a lot about that. Do you guys hear those fireworks? Apparently it's like Canada Day or something. Here where I'm at, Victoria Day or something. Or no, I think people are just celebrating summer. Anyways, happy summer, y'all. One breakout. I think we're gonna have a breakout in the very near future, like next day or two. Like, if we measure this, see, we have, again, like, 2 days? We're probably going to break out tomorrow, I assume. Because there's another thing. Weekends, and specifically Sundays, are usually shit for Bitcoin. Tomorrow's Monday. We're in an apex here after a substantial correction. I do think, even if we assume the worst case scenario, that we're probably going to have a relief rally. Like, even looking back at 2017, if we look back at 2017, like, it wasn't a straight line down. We had relief rallies, relief rally, relief rally, relief rally, relief rally, relief rally. It's never a straight line down. So what I'm saying here is, we've had our sell-off. If we have our pump and find rejection, if we can't flip a major resistance level and hold it as support, and we go for a further sell-off, that's our signs that, hey, we're probably entering a bear market. And once we do see this relief rally is where I'm looking to take profits on some of my positions. Again, folks, like, even in a bear market, we do have relief rallies, so it's probably not a good idea to sell panic and dumps and fear. It's a good idea to sell greed, to sell pumps, sell green candles. So that's what I'm looking out for. Again, Alex's Victoria Day, long weekend, fireworks don't stop here in Toronto. Oh, you guys are all the way from Toronto? No way. What's up? I see your fellow Canadian. Yes, welcome all my Canadians. How are you guys? How are you holding up in lockdown? So, okay. That's that. Let me just show some other stuff. Alright, William User, $5 super chat again. Thank you for the support. I put in your general discussion what I was talking about. Let me take a look. General discussion. Ooh, okay. Let me see. Okay. Let's take a look here back at Bitcoin. Let me hold on. Let me pull up a new chart here. I'll make some new scribbles. Alright, let's see. Yeah, man. Like, I see what you're saying. Again, yeah, RSI. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay, so again, I have something drawn slightly different than you. So you had a wedge, I had a channel. Again, ultimately, it just means the same thing, because what's relevant here is the top resistance level, right? So whether your wedge or my channel, it's ultimately just means the same thing. The upper, we have a trend line here acting as resistance, and so you're right about your wedge here or my channel. It just means the same thing. We're forming this descending pattern. We're near an apex here. We're very likely to have a breakout in the near future here, where, you know, whenever we dump like this, we never just go in the same direction forever. And then also you included the RSI, where you're looking at the 1 hour. Yeah, no, man, like we're seeing signs of strength. Again, for those who weren't around in the beginning of the live stream, we're seeing signs of strength with Bitcoin on the lower time frames. So looking here at the hourly MACD, bullish crossover, MACD on the way up, stochastic on the way up, RSI on the way up, making macro higher lows, bullish divergence. Hourly is looking strong. 2 hour, bullish crossover on the MACD, weighted MACD on the way up, stochastic on the way up. Again, same situation with the RSI, we're making higher lows. Looking at the 3 hour here, bullish crossover, bullish crossover, bullish crossover. Lower hourly time frames look strong. So even the 4 hour looks strong. So if we kind of look at how the lower time frames are building up strength, we're in an apex, we're going to have a big move soon, and we've had a massive sell-off. To me, this spells relief rally sooner rather than later. And again, while it's not a guarantee that if we do see that relief rally, we will see continuation, some kind of relief rally, whether it's the 41 or 50,000, is probably in the playbook as a strong potential here in the near future. Likely to see a breakout very near future, within a couple next few days, probably 2 or 3 days. So I hope I answered your question, and awesome chart, by the way. I love it when you guys like actually know how to chart. I love seeing that. That's awesome. Yeah, that's that. Some dude yelled Bitcoin is zero. Look, people have been yelling Bitcoin is zero ever since Bitcoin was at zero. And what has Bitcoin done over long term? Gone from zero to $65,000. So again, I think the biggest risk when it comes to crypto is, one, are you investing in something with fundamentals? Let's say you are. Then number two is, how long are you willing to hold? Because, you know, bull market or bear market, we still over the long term trend upward. So, you know, if you're looking to sell next month, next quarter, oof, then your risk is greatly increased, because you don't know what's going to happen next month, next year. But we do know that over time, over the last decade, Bitcoin and crypto has gone nothing but up. So the longer you're willing to hold, the less your risk when it comes to solid altcoins. Because if you're holding something like Doge or Shiba or one of the other endless meme coins with next to no fundamentals, those things are far more precarious and far less likely to recover after correction. So that's why I've always kind of shitted on shit coins, because they're highly risky. Here's the thing with meme coins, folks. There's safer options than meme coins, and there's coins that could probably pump more, because with a lot of these meme coins, people are usually buying into them after they've pumped and done several X's. Look, you know, the people who got into Dogecoin back when it was like tenths of a penny, that was smart money. People falling into Dogecoin when it was tens of cents, that's dumb money. Don't be dumb money, be smart money. You want to find what's undervalued, what could do very well over the long term. The people who believed in Doge for years and got in Doge for years, they were the smart ones who were rewarded. The people foaming to Doge when you know Elon was going to SNL, that's dumb money. You don't want to chase tops on things with no fundamentals. You want to chase crashes on things with great fundamentals, like the projects I've mentioned, the projects I'm hopefully going to get more chance to keep mentioning here. So yeah, that's my 2 cents. Dennis says, again, man, thank you so much for the support. How many attempts does BTC have to break the 200 EMA and the 200 SMA before it's considered a deep dive down into the bear market? There's no number, but the more times we get rejected, the more bearish it is. It's just a matter of confirmation. Like, if we do get rejected off these levels, that's confirmation of the bear trend. While there's no like safe number, like, oh, like if we get rejected 3 times, then it's over. There's no number like that. But if we get rejected again, that's just further confirmation. And so while there isn't a specific number of rejection or support we need to find to break through or below a level, the more times we get rejected off a place, the further confirmation of the downtrend, or the more times we find support on a place. Well, actually, now support, because another thing too is, let's assume we form something of like a macro descending triangle, and we keep testing 30,000 over and over and over again. The more times we test the level, the more likely we are to break through. So, actually, we could get rejected here off these 2 levels, and as long as we're making macro higher lows, we're good. Like, we could go on to do something like this, where we break out bullish, get rejected, but we make a higher low above these levels. Go back up, get rejected, make a higher low above these levels. Go back up, get rejected, make a higher low. So what I'm looking out for is we can get rejected all over the long day just because there's endless resistance above us. But what I don't want to see is macro lower lows. And eventually, the more times we test something, the more likely we are to break through. The more times we test resistance, the more likely we are to break through resistance. The more times we test support, the more likely we are to break through support. And so again, there's no specific number, but the more times we test a specific region, the more likely we are to break through that region. So that's that. I hope I answered your question. Please clarify if I need to go on. So, or please clarify if I need to clarify. What are you guys seeing? Shiba equals scam? Yeah, look, guys, I'm definitely not putting my money there. Again, there's safer options. There's options with high return on investment. Again, Kryptonate, I like Kryptonate, right? He's another fellow crypto YouTuber. He shilled me Cake Coin the other day. It's a meme coin with $8 million market cap. I mean, why would you put your money into this when there's something like Decenter with a 10 million market cap? That's a competitor to basic attention token. Super solid fundamentals. Massive bullish catalyst this quarter with this project. So again, you have safer options than these meme coins. What's something safer than a meme coin? Ethereum. Ethereum's super safe option. Ethereum is probably the safest option you can make in crypto. I could buy Ethereum at any given point and be super secure in holding it for the next 10 years. Decenter. I think Decenter is an example of something with a very high return on investment potential, not guarantee, potential. That also has great fundamentals. It's a competitor to basic attention token. They're launching their browser and their mainnet this quarter. So very bullish catalyst. We take a look here at quarter 2, mainnet launch, beta browser, inbuilt VPN, inbuilt ad blocker, Tor integration. They're just, again, being a competitor to basic attention token. They'll have marketplace where you can get discounts on products for using their browser. Folks, you know, there's a big problem in the world. This is a project that solves problems. There's a problem in the world. Decenter is a meme coin. I don't know. I wouldn't say Decenter is a meme coin because Decenter is trying to solve a real world problem and has some use case. The problem being browsers. Browsers steal your data and they sell to advertisers and they pocket all the money. Something like Decenter and something like basic attention token, I'm not sponsored. They should sponsor me. If you guys know the developers of Decenter, I shill them all the time. We should definitely be sponsored. Hit them up, be like, hey, aMillionortheMoon, they shill you guys. You should definitely sponsor them. So we're not sponsored by Decenter, although we should be. Hit them up. Hit me up, guys. I'll take your sponsorship. I like this project. I own this project. And so, yeah, something like Decenter aims to give users who use their browser value back by giving them their native cryptocurrency and discounts in their marketplace. So I like Decenter a lot. It's solving a real world problem, has great fundamentals. It's stupidly undervalued. It's had a massive correction from all-time highs. And so if you're looking for kind of a riskier play, Decenter is where I'm putting my money. I bought the dip on Decenter. So yeah, that's that. Yeah. So, okay, let's keep going here. I want to keep sharing with you guys what I did buy the dip on. Audius, I bought the dip on. Every dip with Audius, I bought the dip. $1.55 I bought. $1.80 and 75 I bought. $1.40 I bought, and I also bought at 90 cents as well. Any substantial dip with Audius I'm buying. This price structure looks very bad. Macro lower highs and lower lows, confirmation of the bear trend. I don't expect to make money on this anytime soon. I just like the fundamentals, and I think there's a good chance of over the long term, whether that's 3 months from now or 3 years from now, to retest all-time highs and vastly surpass it. So any substantial dip with Audius I'm buying. I did buy BNB, but I actually sold it to buy more perp. Perpetual protocol is a decentralized derivatives trading protocol that's cash flow positive. They pay back their users through staking for the interest occurred through trading on their platform. I like this thing a lot. Folks, I think crypto's here to stay. I think the legacy markets are eventually going to bring in their billions and trillions, and so they're going to eventually start to use these decentralized derivatives and trading protocols like, synthetics, like Perpetual, like Alpha, another one about to dip on, and Lena, and many more. Lena, another one about to dip on. It's currently within the golden pocket, the 618. So many, no, this is Chainlink. So many, excuse me. Yeah, no, this is Lena. Yeah, Lena looks very bad here in the short term, but we're within our chain on this could be the mother of all bull flags. Ultimately, folks, right now, I'm fundamental investing. I'm value investing. I'm not looking to make a quick flip. Again, like this, anything I'm buying right now. If I didn't already say this, I'm fully willing to hold for the next 5 years if I had to. So Dennis asks again, thank you for the support. Says, do you think this mob hit of a dump was engineered? Oh, 100%. I don't think it was. I'm like, again, nobody knows because the people who engineer it don't tell us they engineer it. But yes, it was, in my opinion. And also because this always happens. This is nothing new. Like, for example, one of the biggest FUD news stories that caused panic selling with Bitcoin was with what's going on with China banning crypto services and also potentially clamping down on miners that produce Bitcoin in China. Well, that's ultimately a good thing. We want China having less control of the mining power of Bitcoin. So if they start to clamp down on miners of Bitcoin in China, well, that's an issue in the short term. Over the long term, that's great. We want Bitcoin to be more decentralized. Also, China has always hated Bitcoin and has always regulated Bitcoin. This is nothing new. Also, Elon Musk, him tweeting at the worst times. Again, Elon Musk is not going to be the death of Bitcoin. Bitcoin went from $0 to $65,000, all without, well, actually, to I think $40,000, all without Elon Musk. So this market will survive without Elon. The Americans, there was some regulatory flood that's always happened. Regulations are something that spooks the market, but although it shouldn't, because regulations are absolutely needed. The more regulations we have, the more likely it is that crypto will become mainstreamed and adopted by the legacy system. So all of these major like FUD stories, you really start to examine and say, hey, all these FUD events are screaming temporary problem, and these FUD events causes liquidations, and liquidations are a domino effect that just causes more and more liquidations, which causes more fear, which causes more sell-offs, which causes more liquidations, which is why we saw this kind of major sell-off. But what I'm trying to say here is the same fundamentals that brought Bitcoin to $65,000 were the same fundamentals that exist at $30,000. Nothing has changed. What has changed? Nothing's changed. The use case for crypto has never been greater, the supply has never been smaller, and the demand has never been greater. The fundamentals for Bitcoin and crypto have never been better. What's changed? A few people got spooked and liquidated, and there was some FUD. There's always been FUD. There's been constant coordinated FUD ever since Bitcoin was $1. It's nothing new. It happens all the time. And so while nobody knows, because the people in engineering don't go out and say, hey, I engineered this, the signs are there, and this always happens. So because this always happens, and over the long term, Bitcoin and crypto does nothing but go up, the solid coins, I continue to maintain that we're probably likely they're not in a bull market, although I could be wrong. Market doesn't care what I think. Market doesn't care what I think is probable. The market will do what it wants. And so if we get further confirmation of the bearish trend, makes it likely that we correct further. If we see some signs of bullish divergence, I'll be letting you guys know on this channel. So folks, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and share, and hit that bell icon to be notified of new uploads, because I've been dollar cost averaging my way into Ethereum and talking about it on the channel ever since it was like $400. In synthetics ever since it was $5. VECHAIN ever since it was 2 cents. Matic, again, I've been shilling Matic Polygon ever since it was 2 cents, 5 cents, 10 cents. I was shilling Matic Polygon back when it was first originally Matic and then moved over to be called Polygon. So folks, like the people who've been watching this channel, even after this correction, since the very beginning, are probably still in profit with most of their portfolios if you've been following this channel since the very beginning. So yeah, that's that. That's what's going on with that. So any more questions here? Okay, so just to share with you guys, I also bought Crow. I love Crow.com. We're below support. We're dumping a lot. I bought at 12. I bought at 9 cents. If it dumps more, I'll buy some more. I think Crypto.com could be the next Binance. So that's what's going on with that. Now, I also want to share tangible things with y'all. So, people are scared, and people are letting their emotions and their feelings determine what they do with their money, which has always been a terrible idea. You don't want your feelings and emotions to guide your investment strategy. You want well thought out, nuanced plan to guide your strategy. And so I'll talk about some of the factors that I'm looking out for when it comes to determining the cycles. So the Bitcoin stock to flow model. Bitcoin stock to flow model has historically pretty well followed and tracked along with the price of Bitcoin. Stock to flow says that this cycle we could probably reach over $100,000. Also, the Nupal net unrealized profit and loss chart, as historically done a very good job of calling cycle tops. Whenever we enter that blue euphoria zone, it's correlated historically with cycle tops. Blue euphoria zone means too much people are making too much money too fast, and that growth is unsustainable. And we see a sharp blow off top, or we see a sharp rise followed by a sharp sell off, which is not what we saw this cycle. We saw a nice rounded bottom, rounded top. So again, just further sign that hey, we actually might have, if we find the bottom here, we could have plenty of upside potential. Another thing too, hash rate. Hash rate is actually pretty well correlated with price action. So if we zoom out a bit here, actually I changed this. Let's go back to the daily. So if we look at the daily here, okay, you can see here that this drop in hash rate, this sharp drop in hash rate, was when the power outages in China first began, and miners in China all of a sudden started losing power and couldn't mine, and so the mining power and the hash rate dropped. Mining or a hash rate has a direct correlation with price action. So as soon as that dropped, price action dropped. See, as soon as we dropped here again, price action dropped. And so what are we seeing here in the short term? Hash rate starting to pick up. If we see more bullish divergence and more increase in hash rate, makes it more likely that Bitcoin could recover in price. Again, folks, I want to share with you guys tangible things, not just feelings. Oh, my feelings. Oh, what do I feel? Who cares what I feel? There's some tangible things we can look out for to understand what's going on with the market. Another thing, Bitcoin has been leaving exchanges, steadily leaving exchanges up until recently. Near the top, people were getting scared, moving to Bitcoin exchanges, it's ready to sell. Looking here in the short term, what are we seeing? We're seeing a bit of decline, a little bit of Bitcoin leaving exchanges. So if we see a little bit more leave, a little bit more leave, a little bit more leave, all of a sudden it looks like Bitcoin's leaving exchanges again. And if it does, if that trend continues, then that's going to be our cue that Bitcoin is perhaps ready to bottom out and start recovering again. So these are some of the tangible factors I'm looking out for to understand what's going on. And again, folks, anytime anything interesting happens, we're going to be talking about it on this channel. So make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share, smash that like button. Dennis S. With the super chat, again, thank you for the support, says, wasn't today technically considered a higher low? Yes, it was. Again, if we zoom into the price action here, you said higher low. Yeah, look at this. We made a higher low here. This is good. Again, folks, like maybe you there's a lot of people here that probably didn't hear the beginning of the live stream. I hashed out a lot of my thoughts about Bitcoin in the beginning of the live stream. So if you guys want to really hear like my full thoughts on what I think what's going on with Bitcoin, make sure you go watch the beginning of the live stream. But I'll maybe just briefly summarize some of the things I said. All right, we've been downtrending a lot. We never just go in one direction constantly. We always have a relief rally. So if we're going up a lot, we correct. If we're going down a lot, we have a relief rally. Also, what are we seeing here? We're in an apex. We don't have much more room to go down or sideways based off our trend line that we've been respecting this channel. So we're going to have a breakout soon. We're going to have to pick a direction soon. We also saw a macro, I don't know about macro, micro, higher low. That higher low is a good sign. We can get rejected all live long day, but as long as we keep making these higher lows, that's a good sign. So if you look at this whole picture, and again, those strength and those lowerly hourly time frames with our indicators are starting to show some strength. This all looks to me like a relief rally in the making. I do think Bitcoin is likely to have a relief rally and break up bullishly in the near future here. Of course, that may not happen. The market doesn't care what I think. The market will do what it wants. But I do think it's more likelier than not that we will break out bullishly, have a relief rally, and depending what way that relief rally plays out, will be very, very telling for what's to come, and if whether or not we're in a bull market or bear market. So those are some of the things I'm looking out for. Beat the Beat says, with a $5 Canadian super chat, what up to my fellow Canadian? Shopping time, what are your thoughts on DSLA? Seems like a great investment with problem-solving use case partnerships. Great price at the moment. Well, okay, I'm not too familiar, but hey, if you think it has good fundamentals, you believe in it, good partnerships, then that's a winning recipe right there. So let's take a look. What was the ticker again here? DSLA. Let's take a look. DSLA. Okay, lower market cap to 40 million. So what do they do? Let's see here. Price action. Oh, okay, that's bad. Okay, some bigger exchanges. All right, what do they do? APR guaranteed. I don't know about guaranteed. I don't like saying guaranteed. Ensure your staking deposits against APR drops. Interesting. Interesting. What do these guys do? A hedge against infrastructure risk. DSLA protocol adds native risk management and parametric insurance capabilities to your applications and networks. Okay, guys. I'm not going to struggle through trying to understand what this thing does. Let's just take a look here at the fundamentals. So let's look at, sorry, not fundamentals, technicals. It's late and I've been drinking apple juice, y'all, forgive me. So DSLA, nah, it's probably not the right chart, is it? Let's see here. So Linea is another one I like, by the way. Another exchange. So DSLA. Yeah, here we go. That's probably it. Okay, yeah, no, this makes more sense. So first thing I would do here is I would draw a fib retracement from macro bottom to all-time highs. Perfect. And then try and lock it up. Okay, here we go. Yeah, okay, so folks, we're falling right on the 786 perfectly. We're falling right on this previous all-time high. So again, folks, you know, we start moving up, we have a resistance, we break out our resistance, we impulse up, we have a sell-off. Where do we sell off to? To retest the previous resistance level, folks. This is super textbook. We see this on short time frames, we see this on high time frames. So ultimately what I want to see with this is hold above this previous peak here. If we can hold above that at kind of 6-7, kind of, let's just say 7 here, 0.007, as long as we hold that, that's a good thing. Another thing as well, I want to see us, while we are seeing a long wick to the downside and we are finding our support on the 786 Fibonacci retracement, that is a good sign. There is a very clear base of support right here at kind of just under 7 here that we really need to get above, because if we do get above this range, that would serve as that would make this price structure look a lot more stronger, because you can see here we were constantly finding this was a price reactive zone here constantly, right? So we need to flip this from resistance into support. Once we do that, we're looking a lot stronger. Ultimately, for now, what I'm looking out for is holding up above this level, and then this fib level. So if we can get above all these 3 levels that I've talked about, then this can see bullish divergence. Until then, we're looking weak here. So another thing as well, again, macro kind of descending triangle, descending channel here. So if we start to see some bullish divergence above these trend lines, then that's a good sign as well. So if we can get above this red zone, get above that 7 level, and get above these white trend lines, then we could probably recover. That's what I'm looking out for with that. So folks, look, here's the thing. I've been going on for over an hour and 20 minutes here. It is getting late. I do have to get up in the morning and get ready for the morning live stream. So I will wrap up here. I want to thank all you guys for being here, all your support. You guys are the best. You guys, you know, make it worth doing this stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys want to become a VIP Discord member, I highly recommend you get in before we implement some changes, because we're going to be bringing in some changes to our VIP Discord group where we talk about low cap gems, interesting setups, and that's, you know, they're usually the first to know whenever we buy the dip on something. We have tons of helpful resources there. So if you want to become a VIP Discord member, you get access through our Patreon. Go click on the description below. Go click on Patreon. Connect your Patreon to Discord. We have a very simple thing explaining how to do it, and then that's how you get access to our group. We're going to be bringing some changes soon here, and the people that got in early will benefit from being early. So make sure you check that out. Folks, thank you so much for watching. We'll wrap it up. Until next time, folks, take care.